We're in a new month and a new year, but before I can officially put a bow on 2021, I need to look at the movies of December and talk about whether I would recommend each and every one of them. December was really dominated by two things, Christmas movies and Spider-Man, and so that's where we find ourselves first with Spider-Man Far From Home. We're catching up on that series before the new one was coming out. I give this movie a very strong recommend. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is a great villain. He gets to have a few big monologues that are a lot of fun and very, villainous, very bad guy, comic book bad guy especially, and it just is a lot of fun. I do wish it kind of took place in New York, but I also understand the story doesn't really fit that. But I am glad with where Spider-Man is now that we're going to be getting plenty of New York Spider-Man. A Boy Called Christmas is going to get a recommendation from me as well. It's always fun to see people take a lot of liberties when it comes to the idea of Santa Claus and not feel tied down with certain traditions. And so this movie is a fun addition to that canon. But speaking of traditions in Santa Claus, Miracle on 34th Street is something that I watched for the first time this year, and it is probably the most traditional Santa Claus. This Santa Claus ended up becoming my favorite Santa Claus, and you can watch my whole video on that on our channel. And so obviously this one is going to get a high recommend from me. As is Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the old Rankin Bass claymation. I think there's going to be a lot of recommendations on this list because, I didn't really take a lot of risks with my movie watching this Christmas. And, there's nothing wrong with that. But Santa Claus is Coming to Town, it's my favorite one of these claymations. Again, I talked about this more in my Santa Claus video, so make sure to check that one out. But this one gets a thumbs up too. 2021 actually had a couple good Christmas movies to come out. 8-Bit Christmas, this one was on HBO Max. This movie with the dad telling the story of how he was trying to get a Nintendo Entertainment System back in the day. It feels very similar, like a good companion piece to A Christmas Story. They both are told by a narrator looking back into the past and acknowledging different things about how things have changed. But this is really good, and I think it's got a good heart, and it's very funny, and some fun gross out things I wasn't expecting. And so, yeah, this movie gets a thumbs up from me. Then we get the big movie of the month. In fact, I think the only real new movie in theaters, at least, that I watched last month, Spiderman No Way Home. And of course, this is going to get a thumbs up from me. My favorite movie of the year. I really, can't say enough about this movie, but I'm going to not say very much about it right here. I've talked about it plenty in our best movies of the year video that I put out about a week and a half ago. And so just know that if you like Spider-Man, just in general, go see this movie, and I do not think you will be disappointed. Klaus, another great Santa origin movie. This one gets a thumbs up for me. Great animation. Talked about it in my video on Santa Claus already. Go see it. So having watched Spider-Man No Way Home, we really felt the need to get into some more Spider-Man when we got home. And so we watched the original Spider-Man from 2002, starring Tobey Maguire, directed by Sam Raimi. And this movie is just so much fun. And it still plays to kids nowadays. I think we worry a lot about I don't think, maybe you don't worry about this. Some of us look at movies and we're like, oh, how has this aged? The CG looks fake. And that is true for moments in this movie. And my kids even acknowledge that, hey, that looks pretty fake, or that's obviously a computer. But my kids loved this movie, and lines and moments from it have become daily things that we talk about. My kids don't go to bed now without me doing the itsy bitsy spider like the Green Goblin. My 2-year-old absolutely requires it every night.
The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spouts. Down came the goblin and took the spider out.
Plus, it does not hurt that this has one of my favorite movie scores of all time. And so, yeah, big thumbs up on Spider-Man. Randomly watched Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets with the kids. I guess they're going through them, and I just missed the first one. But, this is maybe my favorite one out of all of them. I don't know. It's pretty great. It's just dark enough where I'm like, but it's still a lot of fun. Love it. Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets gets a thumbs up. The Santa Claus, yet another Santa Claus origin story, is going to get a recommendation from me, as is Jingle All the Way. Just one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Not very good, but certainly one of my favorites. And then we got to the big day itself, Christmas. And what movies did we choose to watch on Christmas? Well, understandably, we watched the Santa Claus 2. We had just watched the first one on Christmas Eve, and so we moved to that second one. That movie, I don't know. I'm torn. I'm going to say I don't recommend the Santa Claus 2, though it was better than I remembered it being. Maybe I'm just kind of looking back and comparing it unfairly to the first one, but it's still, it's decent Christmas stuff, but as a movie, I don't know if I'd recommend it. But I would recommend it more than the other movie we watched on Christmas, which is the Disney Channel original movie Zombies, Zombies, a movie about a city where zombies are alive and are segregated from people and how they want to be able to go to school with it. I've never watched a children's movie that is so heavy-handedly about real-world issues, but cloaked in the we're monsters kind of thing, which is very weird. There are a lot of moments in the movie I'm like, what are they doing? But I'm not going to recommend this one or the sequel, which we watched the next day, Zombies 2. But there's something else. I had never watched them, but I guess my kids like these ones. And yeah, it's good to know that Disney is still putting out these crazy movies, because the third one is supposedly in development. Can't wait. Looking forward to seeing it. And then we finished out the month and the year with maybe my favorite movie of all time. It's up there with Paddington. They fight it out a lot. But Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock is just one of my favorite villains ever. The score continues to be awesome. It has one of my favorite just superhero scenes in general, with the train scene. I love it when superheroes are saving people and not just fighting each other. Like, that's the good stuff for me. And so this one gets just a huge, huge, huge recommendation. If you've never seen the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, I really think you should go back and watch them, because they're just good, good movies. And that is it for the month of December and the year 2021. Thank you so much for sticking with us this year as we are getting everything going with the channel. I'm really just, blown away by where we are. And thank you for all the support. Thanks for the subscribes and the comments and the likes and the shares and all the things that you do. I hope to continue that into this new year with just some more fun videos. And I hope that you will watch those and just let me know what you think. And take care, and I will see you next time.